So, hey everyone, my name's DJ Ray, and I do this weekly show called Music Goats. It stands for Greatest of All Time in different categories, music categories. We've done so many different ones, different music themes so far to find out who the greatest of all time, the GOAT, is of all time. Tonight, I got a really cool one. It's going to be the greatest Latin artist of all time. We do this little thing, by the way, every week. I usually pick the top 20 of all time, and I ask you guys to try and pick the number one, who you think is the number one, or I guess partially who you think I might say is number one. But if you can pick the number one, not only will I be extremely impressed, but you get a little, kind of gentlemanly, or what do you call those, gentleman bets? But what do you say of gentlemen? What if ladies do it? Gentleman or lady bet. That, the pride of winning. So I know that we've had a few winners in here already. I know Uncle Mike's won it 1 week. Ange has won maybe twice, I think. Nana Bananas also once won or twice. Tamaz has won. Not in the chat room, but he's won one. So if you can pick, type it in. I see we've got some friendly bet. That's it, Ange. I see we got some picks already. Feral Candy, pick Ricky Martin. Wow, you guys are so good with these picks. Nana Banana picked, who did you pick again? You picked so early, I got to go right up here to the... No. Okay, so Celia Cruz for Ange. I can't find which one Nana picked, but maybe she can type it back in for me, but I don't want to be a pain, but okay, let's get started, guys. So yeah, all in good fun. Please feel free to type in the chat box. Mary's got Shakira. You guys came to play today. Okay, so I'd like to see who knows their Latin music the best. This will be a really impressive one if you can pick the number one GOAT, greatest of all time, male, female, doesn't matter, greatest Latin artist. That includes Latin pop. Keep that in mind. Okay, so let's jump in. At number 20, some of these you might not know, and once again, please forgive me. How you doing, Mary? Forgive me if I pronounce some of these names a little off. I've got that Canadian thing going on, eh? So I'll do my best. Number 20, hopefully you guys know some of these artists, is Nicky Jam. Nicky Jam. Good to hear, Mary. Nicky Jam, an American singer of Puerto Rican descent. His early music style exemplified traditional fast-paced reggaeton, whereas his newer compositions place more emphasis on sung vocals and romantic lyrics. Throughout his career, Nicky Jam has collaborated with many other Latin artists such as Daddy Yankee, J Balvin, and Ozuna. Obviously, all reggaeton stars in their own right. Nicky Jam's most popular tracks include songs like, here we go with the pronunciations, Travesuras, 2014, El Perdón, I probably said that more French than Spanish, but 2015, El Amante, 2017, and just X, 2018. Nothing to do with Elon Musk, by the way. Okay, so yeah, counting down the greatest Latin artist of all time, coming in at number 20, I give it to Nicky Jam. Okay, let's continue on with number 19 on my greatest Latin artist of all time. This one goes to another reggaeton artist. His name's Maluma, Maluma. Maluma, born and raised in Colombia, he has been recording music since he was 16 years old. His music style has been described as a blend of reggaeton, Latin trap, and Latin pop. He is best known for songs like Borro Cassette. I have a feeling that means borrow the cassette. El Perdedor, 2016, Corazon, 2017, Clandestino featuring Shakira, 2018, and Hawaii, 2020. Maluma's accolades include a Latin Grammy Award, 2 Latin AMAs, and an MTV Video Music Award. Coming in at number 19, and our second reggaeton artist, reggaeton being a subgenre of Latin music. There's a lot of different subgenres. Reggaeton being one of the more popular ones these days. Keep in mind, reggaeton just existed over the past 25 years. The very first reggaeton song probably didn't come out till 2001, so it's a relatively new genre still, but very popular. It's been popular since its conception, and it's just as popular today. Basically, what reggaeton is, for those who don't know, it's a mix of reggae, where the beats mostly are concerned, and Latin, and salsa a bit, because then there's even a subgenre called salsaton, which is a mixture of reggaeton and salsa. All these genres are just getting crazy now. Remember the good old days where it was just rock and dance and country, and maybe R&B. So anyway, coming in at number 19 is Maluma, another reggaeton artist. Yeah, Nicky Jam at 20, Maluma at number 19. Which takes me to number 18. Just before that, don't forget to type in who you think is the greatest Latin artist of all time. Just type it into the chat. It's all in good fun, but at the end of it, we'll see if anybody picked... it's hard to stump you guys, I'll be honest. We've been doing this for like almost 3 months, and every Tuesday, 8 o'clock live on TikTok. And I just haven't stumped you guys yet. So guys, keep up the great work. Coming in at number 18, I love this artist. It's relatively new as well. Her name's Karol G with a K. Karol G. Or I guess it would be G for you guys. She's a Colombian singer-songwriter who launched her career as a teenager after appearing on the Colombian spin-off of The X Factor. Her biggest singles include Tusa, featuring Nicki Minaj, 2019, Provenza, 2022, Mammy, featuring Becky G in 2022, TQG, featuring Shakira in 2023, and this one's hard, and Si Ontaze te hubiera conocido, 2024. That wasn't too bad. Maybe I got a little bit of Italian in me, so I can get by with some words, but otherwise I'm just going to expose how bad my Spanish is today. Karol G. Her career accolades include 1 Grammy Award, 1 AMA, 5 Billboard Music Awards, and 5 Guinness World Records. And if you guys haven't heard it yet, I did it on one of my regular daily posts or weekly posts that I do every Saturday. I post a different Latin artist on my social media network, DJ Ray's Music or djraysmusic.com. And last Saturday, I think it was last Saturday, I posted the Karol G one here, her new song. Well, it's a few months old. That one I just said, Si Ontaze te hubiera conocido. It's going to be, a lot of people just can't find these Latin songs because they don't know how to spell them. So what I would suggest is go to one of my social media platforms, even TikTok if you like, and just do a search on my page, DJ Ray's Music, for Karol G with a K, and her song will come up. And I tell you, Nana, you'll love it. It's a great song. Very merengue-ish, but with a little bit of pop in it. And she's not hard on the eyes either, Karol G. So let's just do a quick update. Counting down the greatest Latin artist of all time, male or female. Coming in at number 20 was Nicky Jam. Coming in at number 19 was Maluma. And coming in at number 18, the beautiful Karol G with a K. So just a reminder, guys, my name is DJ Ray, and I do this live on TikTok every Tuesday at 8 p.m. sharp. The show is called Music Goats, standing for Music Greatest of All Times. And each week I choose a different music category and crown the GOAT. Once again, the category for today is the greatest Latin artist of all time. We left off at Karol G at number 18. Number 17, I'm sure you guys won't know this artist, Elvis Crespo, a Spanish singer who was born in New York City, but raised in Puerto Rico. Named after Elvis Presley. Oh, I like that hat. I'm gonna cover my bald spots there. That's good. Good thinking, guys. Yeah, named after Elvis Presley. He first gained fame in the mid 1990s when he joined Grupo Mania. Grupo Mania was a great merengue band. Had a few good hits back in the 90s. Eventually, he decided to go solo. And in 1998, Elvis Crespo released his debut album. Specializing primarily in merengue music, this LP produced Elvis Crespo's two biggest singles, Tu Sonrisa and Suavemente. He also had success with the single Pintame, that won a Grammy Award for Best Merengue Performance in 1999. There's just something about this artist that makes his music timeless. Arguably the greatest merengue artist in history, his infectious sound seems to resonate even to the present day. So if you haven't heard of this guy, even though he's born in New York City, he's almost like a regional artist because he seems to do better on the charts in Spanish markets than in his home country of the U.S. On the charts. But I'll tell you something. If you like merengue, you can't get better than Elvis Crespo. So I highly recommend. And I'm sure you guys have all heard his song Suavemente. It's just like an iconic merengue song, so I'm sure you've heard of it. Coming in at number 17 on DJ Ray's greatest Latin artist of all time, Elvis Crespo. Okay, keep those picks coming in, guys. Hey, Morning Thunderbird. Good to see you. Frankie Flips is here. Good. Girls, don't get too crazy. Okay. Yeah, I know. Frankie walks in a room, it just lights up. Yeah, so keep typing in who you think is the greatest Latin artist of all time. Somebody already picked Julio Iglesias. I believe that was Nana. But you're welcome to pick it. It's an amazing pick. We've had Julio Iglesias picked. We've had, I think, J-Lo. We've had Shakira. We've had... They've had a few other ones too. Celia Cruz. Yeah, off the top of my head. So Ricky Martin, Loveland Ricky, Candy. Yeah, there's a lot of with Ricky Martin. So yeah, keep them coming in. Okay, so we left off. Number 20 was Nicky Jam. Number 19 was Maluma. Number 18 was Karol G. Uncle Mike, what's going on, buddy? Sorry I didn't say hi yet. 18 was Karol G, 17 was Elvis Crespo, and continuing, DJ Ray's music GOAT, greatest of all time Latin artist. Number 16, J Balvin. A Colombian singer who has been referred to as the Prince of Reggaeton. His breakthrough came in 2014 with the release of 6 a.m., featuring Puerto Rican singer Farruko. Some of his other prominent singles include Ay Vamos, 2014, Ginza, 2015, Mi Gente, 2017, and Una Dia, 2020. Billboard magazine called him one of the greatest Latin artists of all time. And in 2020, he was included on Time magazine's annual list of the 100 most influential people in the world. Yeah, this guy is rising. Well, he's been rising for a while, but... certainly taking his place as one of the greatest of all time. J Balvin coming in at number 16. That's J Balvin, Balvin. Some of these guys don't even have like real heavy Latin names, you know. But that's the modern times, right? Number 16, J Balvin. Okay, we're at number 15 now. I'm sure you guys know this band, the Gypsy Kings. So this is our first band, right? It's all been single artists so far, yeah. So our first band, coming in at number 15 all time, a Latin music group who play a blend of rumba, salsa, flamenco, and Latin pop. Some of their biggest singles include Bamboleo, 1987, Volare, 1989, and Baila Me, 1991. Their unique version of the Eagles' Hotel California was an example of some fast flamenco guitar leads and some rhythmic strumming. This cool version was featured in the 1998 movie The Big Lebowski, which, by the way, was listed in our top 20 soundtracks last week. That's right. In 2014, the Gypsy Kings won the Grammy Award for Best Global Music Album. Coming in at number 15, do you know the Gypsy Kings? If I'm not mistaken, they're not even from a Latin territory. Where are they from? It escapes me right now. I want to say France, but I'm not sure. So, but for a band that plays some pretty authentic Latin music, yeah, surprising. But they're definitely great. Coming in at number 15 on the greatest of all time Latin music artists, the Gypsy Kings, and our first band. I don't know if we have any other bands on here. Didn't even know there was a band. Sometimes you just, you know. Okay. Once again, guys, I'm DJ Ray. I do this every Tuesday night, 8 p.m., live on TikTok. The show is called Music Goats. It stands for the greatest of all times. In different music themes. Every week we have a different theme, and tonight our theme is we want to know who is the greatest Latin artist of all time. I want to know. I'm sure you guys want to know. It's not something you talk about every day, you know what I mean? And a lot of these artists are regional to Spanish territories and stuff like that, but some of them are just big on the world scene. Some of them are big on the U.S. scene. But yeah, fine line between the two these days. Okay, so yeah. Coming in at number 15 was the Gypsy Kings, which brings us to number 14. I've always liked this guy. Don Omar, a Puerto Rican singer and rapper who is better known as the king of reggaeton. The king. We had the prince, now we got the king. So, I mean, I had to put this guy ahead of him, right? That would look kind of weird if I said the king and then after higher, I picked the prince, right? Anyway, he's known as the king of reggaeton by music critics and fans alike. His breakthrough came in 2003 after the release of his debut album, The Last Dawn. This LP included the singles Dale Don Dale and Dile, both reggaeton tracks. During his career, he earned numerous accolades, including a Billboard Music Award and 3 Latin Grammy Awards. His 2011 signature hit single, Danza Kuduro, is arguably the greatest merengue song in history. To this very day, it's my go-to choice whenever I want to spice up the dance floor with a little Latin energy. I know I said that Elvis Crespo is the greatest merengue artist of all time, but this song, Danza Kuduro, is the greatest song merengue. Yeah, I'm going to go on record and say that. The greatest, DJ Ray's greatest song, not that that's our topic tonight, merengue song of all time is by Don Omar, O-M-A-R, if you want to check it out on YouTube, and it's called Danza, D-A-N-Z-A, Kuduro, K-U-D-O-R-O. Best merengue song ever. A great dance song. And you guys definitely must know it. It's huge. So, number 14 goes to Don Omar. Just grab a quick drink here. I'm getting dry. And a quick recap. We're doing the greatest Latin artist of all time. Number 20, Nicky Jam. Number 19, Maluma. Number 18, Karol G. Number 17, Elvis Crespo. Number 16 is J Balvin. Number 15 is the Gypsy Kings. And number 14 is Don Omar. Taken me to by lucky number, but not so lucky for this artist. But she comes in at number 13, and I noticed somebody said her. So nice pick, but not quite number 1. Selena. Some of you might not even know much of Selena's work because, let me tell you a little bit about her. Often referred to as Queen of Tejano, the Queen of the Tejano genre, she has been credited for helping redefine Spanish music and its subgenres of Latin pop, cumbia, and Tejano. Throughout her short career, she sold approximately 18 million records, making her one of the best-selling Latino artists. Unfortunately, on March 31st, 1995, she was fatally shot by a friend that sent shockwaves all around the world. After she passed away, at just 23 years of age, her popularity, particularly among the Hispanic community, was compared to the likes of the legendary Marilyn Monroe. So, was Selena so great because of her legend? The fact that she died so young? Because I find when artists die so young, even if they didn't do that much, they get glorified. And in the case of Selena, she might be a little overrated because of the fact she died so tragically and so young, but she was extremely talented. She reminded me of J-Lo, if I'm being honest. Yeah, she sold 18 million records before she was 23. So yeah, number 13, the legendary Selena. She's huge. If you go down to like Mexico or Cuba or somewhere like that, or she was huge. Probably the younger generation in Mexico and stuff don't even know who she is. No, they don't. Anyway, number 12, talk about a legendary artist. One you, again, may or may not know, but they know him in Mexico. Luis Miguel, a Mexican singer and record producer who was born in Puerto Rico to an Italian mother and a Spanish father. He is often referred to as El Sol de Mexico, the son of Mexico. His primary Latin subgenres include boleros, mariachi, and tangos. Having sold around 60 million records worldwide, he is one of the best-selling Latin artists of all time. Between the years 1982 and 1994, he charted a total of 16 number one singles in his native Mexico. In October 2020, Billboard magazine ranked him at number 2 on their list of the greatest all-time Latin artists. So I'm not really doing him a lot of justice having him at number 12 when Billboard is putting him at number 2. But and that Billboard chart came out in 2020, just less than 5 years ago, October 2020. So yeah, very respected. If you've never heard of him before, his name's Luis, Luis, Miguel, Miguel. Certainly an artist to check out if you're a big lover of Latin music, especially traditional stuff. A little mariachi, do the tango, that kind of stuff. Number 12, Luis Miguel, which takes me to number 11. Somebody said this one. Maybe 2 people said it. I can't check, but maybe somebody will. The person who said it would be perfect to let me know. Because trying to find it in this chat is difficult to say the least. So, number 11, whoever said it, great choice, but not number 1, Celia Cruz. Speaking of traditional, like Luis Miguel, you don't get more traditional than this. Celia Cruz, a Latin singer who rose to fame in Cuba during the 1950s and became internationally known as the Queen of Salsa music. She mastered a wide variety of Afro-Cuban music styles, including guaracha, rumba, afro, and bolero. In 1960, after the Cuban Revolution caused the nationalization of music, she left her native country and continued her career in the U.S., where she took up residency. Throughout her career, Celia Cruz was awarded numerous distinctions, including 2 Grammy Awards and 3 Latin Grammys. Coming in at number 11 and a very respected Latin artist among the Hispanic community in the world, the legendary Celia Cruz. Did you say that one, Ange? Was that you? Or I know somebody said it. I seen it in there earlier. We were talking about it. Yes, good pick, Ange. But not number 1. And you know what that means? We're going into the top 10. So let me take a quick drink, get ready for this. And let me just remind you, I'm DJ Ray. I do this show, Music Goats, every Tuesday at 8 p.m. live on TikTok. Music Goats basically stands for the greatest of all time and different music themes. Our theme tonight, we want to know who is the greatest Latin artist ever. Female, male, doesn't matter. Greatest Latin artist. If you guys haven't already made a pick, join in on the fun and type in your pick, who you think. Even if somebody's already picked it, it's always good to know that. Because some people come earlier, you come in later, you might have picked it before them, but, so it doesn't matter if you want to pick the same ones. But we'll have co-champions. How's that? But pick the one you want, and there'll be a test later. No, kidding. Okay, the top 10. Here we go. May or may not know this guy. Has a pretty high profile. But Mark Anthony. Now this guy, a little bit different. Very regional. To his sound is very regional to Mexico and Cuba and stuff like that. But he's actually an American singer who is considered as the top-selling salsa artist of all time. Yeah, Mark Anthony. Throughout his career, he has sold more than 12 million albums worldwide. His most notable singles include Contra la Corriente, 1998, I Need to Know, 1999, and Vivir mi Vida, 2013. A wicked song. Of those songs, I would suggest that you guys will like this song. It's a salsa song. It's called Vivir mi Vida. One of the most popular Latin songs I ever play when I'm DJing. If you like salsa, you're going to love it. Spelled V-I-V-I-R, Vivir, mi, M-I, and Vida, V-I-D-A, by Mark Anthony. His lifetime accolades include 4 Grammy Awards, 8 Latin Grammy Awards, and 3 Billboard Music Awards. Oh, and a 10-year marriage to the always spicy Jennifer Lopez. So, he's had a pretty good life, Mark Anthony, and good-looking guy. He looks Spanish, but and most of his music, other than that song I Need to Know, and there was one other one, too, You Sang to Me, I think it's called, that charted pretty good in the U.S., but he's just, most regional artists are from that region. This guy's from New York City, but he's maintained his roots with salsa, and one of the best, as it says, top-selling salsa artist, and he's legit. Mark Anthony comes in at number 10, which takes me to number 9, and somebody, Stephanie, you got great taste. Yeah, Mark Anthony. I wasn't sure if too many of you would know him. He didn't chart a lot in the U.S., around the world more, but B, he's a little bit older, right? Like now. I mean, he was big in the 90s. I think that's where he was biggest for America. But that's also when we had the Latin explosion, where Latin got big in the mid to late 90s in the U.S. And it just took off ever since then. And I think that's what really ignited reggaeton music to be born in the early 2000s, was this boom of merengue and salsa in the late 90s. I don't know if you guys remember that. Country music had a bit of a, same time, had a bit of a bang going with Garth Brooks and that, but you can't get any further away from Latin than country, so let's stay on track here. Number 10, J-Lo's ex-husband, Mark Anthony. Okay, number 9, somebody said this one? Julio Iglesias. Born in Madrid, Spain, this legendary artist has sold more than, check this out, 300 million albums worldwide, making him one of the best-selling artists of all time, you think? The father of Spanish superstar Enrique Iglesias, in 2019, he received the Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award. Some of his other career accolades include 2 Grammy Awards, 2 World Music Awards, and 1 AMA. He even won an ACM Country Music Award, speaking of country, alongside Willie Nelson for the duo's 1984 single, To All the Girls I Loved Before. Just had to throw that in there. No, it's not Latin, but he's diverse. In 1985, Julio Iglesias received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame and has cemented his name in the annals of Spanish music history. I forget who said, we got Gloria Estefan for Nana. Hey, Nana. So who said Julio Iglesias? That's a pretty good pick. It was said quite earlier. Again, just dinging them off, guys. That takes me to song. That takes me to the number 8 greatest of all time Latin artist. And this one goes to Daddy Yankee. Okay? Dubbed as the king of reggaeton music, in 2004, he released his international hit single, Gasolina, which is credited with introducing reggaeton to audiences worldwide. This song literally played a huge part in making the reggaeton genre a global phenomenon. In 2017, Daddy Yankee, alongside Luis Fonsi, released the hit single Despacito. Remember the one where they did a remix with Justin Bieber? Great song. This with a slice of salsa style to it. Salsatin. That would be a good example of salsatin. But it's really reggaeton. Anyway, this track became the first Spanish language song to hit #1 in the US since Macarena did it in 1996. Remember that? Oh, Macarena. But this one's way better. I just have this thing against Macarena. If all the years I've had to play it, especially doing weddings and DJing at functions like that, you know. But no, Despacito, amazing. Maybe one week in the near future, I'll do the best Latin songs of all time. I'm sure Despacito would be in there. Throughout his career, Daddy Yankee has received several honors, including 7 Billboard Music Awards, the most ever for any Latin artist, and 10 Guinness World Records. Can't say enough for Daddy Yankee. I always love artists that start genres, and I guess you can argue who started reggaeton. You know, there's always, but I think most would agree, most in the know, or even in the semi-know, that Daddy Yankee is indeed the king of reggaeton music, and he comes in at #8 on DJ Ray's greatest Latin artists of all time. Coming up to #7, somebody said this one. The higher you get on the list, the better you know your music, in my opinion. In this case, Latin music. I'm surprised how well everybody's picking. #7, whoever picked it, Ricky Martin. Comes in at #7. This Latin legend began his music career at 12 as a member of the Puerto Rican boy band Menudo. That's their version of NSYNC. By 1991, I guess more the version of the what's that band? New Kids on the Block, because that was really the same time span. By 1991, Ricky Martin decided to venture out on a solo career. Some of his most popular Latin hits include Maria, 1995, La Copa de la Vida, 1998, and Livin' La Vida Loca, 1999. My personal favorite Ricky Martin song was called Adios, and it was released in 2014. Although it didn't chart in the US, I personally think this track should be re-released and promoted better. Check it out sometime. You won't be disappointed. Amazing song. Came out in 2014. If you watch the video for it, Ricky Martin looks like he didn't age a day from 19 when his big push was in the late 90s with the Latin explosion, and 15 or so years ago in 2014, he's looking just as good as ever. Sexy video. It's called Adios, Adios, and it's by Ricky Martin. Check out the video on YouTube sometime. Great song. It's got a nice kind of a poppy dance merengue sound, I would say, if I had to break it down. Ricky Martin's success in the late 1990s is generally seen as the beginning of the Latin explosion. He has been credited for leading the Latin music genre to mainstream recognition, paving the way for many other Latin artists to achieve global success. Throughout his career, Ricky Martin has won 2 Grammy Awards, 2 AMAs, 3 Billboard Music Awards, 8 World Music Awards, a Guinness World Record, and a star on Hollywood's Walk of Fame. Coming in at #7, and a great pick by whoever picked Ricky Martin, as he comes in at #7. And yeah. And what's going on there? If I missed any other... Ricky Iglesias, we've got his father made it. Let's see if he's as good as his dad. Okay, once again, I'm DJ Ray. Every Tuesday night, 8 o'clock live on TikTok. I count down, I do my show called Music Goat, standing for the greatest of all time. And I count down the top 20 of different music themes. And my main goal isn't so much to count down the top 20, it's to find that number one GOAT. And I've got it here in my notes, the number one. I want to see if any of you could pick it. I'm going to take a little peek. I almost forgot who it was. Okay. Yes, indeed. Okay, makes sense. All right, so let me just do a quick recap from 10. At number 10, we had Mark Anthony. At number 9, we had Julio Iglesias. At number 8, we had Daddy Yankee. And at number 7, it was Ricky Martin, which brings us to artist number 6, also said by somebody. Just so far, you got all the top 10 so far. Let's see if we can keep the streak going, guys. Number 6, who said it? Gloria Estefan. Born in Havana, Cuba, she has sold over 100 million records worldwide, making her one of the best-selling female artists of all time. Between her band Miami Sound Machine and her solo career, Gloria Estefan has racked up a slew of hit singles like The Conga, remember that one? Everybody do the conga. Rhythm is Gonna Get You, 1987. Conga was 1985. And 1, 2, 3, 1988. As you can see, the songs I just mentioned there are more popularized Latin songs, but Gloria Estefan has a lot of regional stuff too that is pure Latin. And when she does her pure Latin stuff, it's mostly, I would say, salsa. She's got a little bit of bachata, I think, in there. But those are her 3 best charting ones in the U.S. Hailed as the Queen of Latin Pop, she's an 8-time Grammy Award winner and a recipient of the Presidential Medal of Freedom, which she received in 2015. In June 2023, she was inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame, becoming the very first Hispanic artist to do so. Gloria Estefan, for you guys who remember the 80s, huge in the 80s. You know, it's funny how, you know, years go by and you can people barely remember the artist. Oh, I remember Gloria Estefan. She was so huge. Coming in at number 6, whoever picked her, I don't know. I can't remember who it was, but good job. But not number 1. So that takes us to the top 5. You may or may not be surprised by number 5. I'll tell you, give you a warning. But it's justified, and just from facts, I guess. And he may even be higher as the next couple years go on, just because he's on the peak right now. So he's on the top of charts right now. Bad Bunny, known as the king of Latin trap, he's had a major influence on the development of Spanish rap. Some of his highest charting singles include Mejores, featuring Becky G, 2017, Mia, featuring Drake in 2018, Dakiti in 2020, Yonaguni, I probably said that like Japanese or something, 2021, Monaco, 2023, and DTMF, 2025, just came out. Throughout his career, Bad Bunny has earned 8 Billboard Music Awards, 3 Grammy Awards, and 11 Latin Grammys. In 2022, Billboard magazine crowned him as Artist of the Year for the entire year. Not just Latin, all artists, no matter what genre. A point of interest about Bad Bunny, outside of music, he occasionally performs in the WWE wrestling as a special guest. He made his in-ring debut at WrestleMania 37 and has since wrestled at the 2022 Royal Rumble and the 2023 Backlash events. So, yeah, a lot of these new artists and new entertainers and whatever, just, you know, all over the place and whatever. But, Bad Bunny, I mean, as far as promoting and marketing, his manager's doing a pretty good job. Personally, I don't know that he deserves to be higher than some of these other artists I've said here, but the facts argue against me. He's just a phenom. And Bad Bunny comes in at number 5 on the greatest Latin artists of all time. Okay, somebody said this next one. Nobody said Bad Bunny. That would have been impressive. Number 4. I think we had a couple people say this one, but it's not number 1. His dad was what, number 9 or something like that? Enrique Iglesias comes in at number 4. Dubbed as the king of Latin pop, he's a Spanish singer and son to legendary crooner Julio Iglesias. His most popular Latin tracks include Bailamos, 1999, Bailando, 2014, El Perdón, 2015, that sounded French too, Duele el Corazón, 2016, and El Baño, featuring Bad Bunny in 2018. Having sold over 70 million records worldwide, Enrique Iglesias holds the record for most number 1 songs posted on Billboard's Hot Latin chart, with a total of 27. 27 number 1 songs. That's hot. He has been honored with a laundry list full of accolades, including 10 World Music Awards, 8 AMAs, and a Grammy Award. So yeah, like father, like son. Father did too good of a job. He's higher than. Do you guys agree that Enrique Iglesias is a bigger all-time artist than Julio Iglesias? Other than the fact that Enrique hasn't won a lifetime Grammy yet, but he's still in the scene. You know, you don't usually. Hero, yeah. I didn't write that one, Mary, because I was trying to stay away from some of the secular songs that aren't Latin at all. But yeah, Enrique has, I could have named, like I said, a laundry list more of songs that Enrique's come out with. But like I said, dubbed as the king of Latin pop. So he doesn't get, say, as deep as like Luis Miguel or Mark Anthony even. But he comes in at number 4. Congrats to the person who mentioned him, but not number 1, Enrique Iglesias. I'm going to tell you something. It seems like this is becoming a recording. We're going into the top 3 right now, so I'll get my traditional drum roll ready. But I'm going to tell you something. At this point, nobody's picked the number 1. Right. So maybe rethink your answers. Somebody picked number 3. Somebody picked number 2. Nobody picked poor little number 1. So keep thinking. Put those caps on. Hey, Mary? Yeah, exactly. Not so Latin, you know. So, okay. So number 4 was Enrique Iglesias. You guys ready? Here comes the drum roll, the shaky camera. I love that part. Okay. Coming in at number 3. I've seen it at least once, maybe twice. It's not the winner, but it's a great pick. Shakira. Number 3, a Colombian-born singer-songwriter. Her cultural impact on the landscape of Latin America has been well documented, and she has been credited with popularizing Latin music on a global level. Throughout her career, Shakira has released many Latin-based singles, including songs like Objection, 2002, La Tortura, 2005, Hips Don't Lie, 2006, Loca, 2010, Rabiosa, 2011, and Chantage with Maluma in 2016. The recipient of many accolades, she has won 4 Grammy Awards and 15 Latin Grammys, including 3 for Song of the Year. It's one thing to winning a Grammy. I think you can win a Grammy in anything, and that's impressive, because Grammys, like I always say, is the standard of music excellence. In the music industry, there's nothing bigger than a Grammy, at least in my opinion. I can't think of anything bigger. It gives you instant respect. It's like winning the Stanley Cup. We're all Canadians mostly here. It's like winning the Stanley Cup. Unless you got a cup ring on your finger, you didn't really make it. Like Matt Sundin, the ex-captain of the Leafs, right? Like, never been a big fan of his. He's never won a cup ring. Amazing player, but, you know. So same thing goes with... with Song of the Year. If you're going to win a Grammy, that one is arguably the best one of them all. If it's not the best Grammy, it's in the top 5 for sure. In 2022, MTV included Shakira on their list of the most influential women in the history of music. She was the only Latina on the list. Coming in at number 3 on DJ Ray's greatest Latin artists of all time, Shakira. Miss Cuba. Or Miss Colombia, sorry. I don't want to mix those two up. Okay, getting closer to number 1, guys. I still haven't seen the number 1 artist. And this one is a bit tricky, even though it's, oh, somebody did say it. I just noticed. Somebody did say it. Okay, then. We're going to have a winner. But just before we do that, announce the winner, I'm going to get to number 2. And a few people said her. Not too much difference with this one and Shakira. But number 2, Jennifer Lopez, an American Latin pop singer who began her career in 1991 as a dancer on the sketch comedy series In Living Color. Remember the Fly Girls? By 1999, she decided to venture into the music industry, and before we knew it, J-Lo was born. With over 80 million records sold, her most successful singles include If You Had My Love, Waiting for Tonight, Let's Get Loud, Love Don't Cost a Thing, I'm Real, Ain't It Funny, Jenny from the Block, and On the Floor. Now, I know I just said to you, Mary, I'm trying to pick the more Latin-y ones, and here, other than maybe Let's Get Loud, none of them have a Spanish sound to it, so strike that from the record. But regardless, J-Lo as well has tons of pure Latin music too. Hers is very Latin pop. She doesn't get too regional, but keep in mind, she's a New York girl. Isn't it funny? She's a New York girl. Mark Anthony's a New York boy. They both do Latin, but she does just her poppy versions, right? But good enough to take number 2, I'll tell you that. So Jennifer Lopez coming in at number 2 on my greatest Latin artists of all time. And that just leaves 1. And I'm going to first announce the name of the person who picked the right answer, because it's very impressive. And then I'll tell you a little bit about that person. Not before I don't take a drink, though. Yeah, you're right, Nana. On the Floor does have a merengue beat, but it doesn't really have a merengue sound. If you're going beats, see, merengue can go anywhere from, not that you guys will know what this means, but anywhere from like 120 BPMs low to 150 beats high, you know. So, but I'd say the average merengue beat, BPMs I'm talking about, is about 130. And On the Floor is exactly 130 BPMs, so, or ish. So yeah, it does have a beat. You're right. You really know your music. I like that. Thanks, Darren. I appreciate that. You always do an awesome job, buddy. Your picks and stuff. Okay, so let's get into the number 1. Big drum roll. Mountain Mama is usually my drum roll girl, but number 1, the winner for tonight, we got someone new. Congratulations, Stephanie. Number 1 Latin artist of all time, and this one's a bit tricky, but I'll explain it in a sec. Carlos Santana. Okay, an American guitarist, best known as a founding member of the rock band Santana. This group significantly raised their profile after appearing at the original Woodstock Festival held in 1969. Their earliest recordings include songs like Evil Ways, 1969, Black Magic Woman, 1970, and Oye Como Va, 1971. Unlike most artists, Santana experienced a rare resurgence of popularity almost 30 years later in 1999 with the release of Smooth featuring Rob Thomas from Matchbox 20, I believe, and Maria Maria featuring the Product GMB. Yeah, and that song Smooth, although it I think it was a number 1 US hit, and it had a bit of a secular sound and a secular artist in the sense of Rob Thomas being the singer. the sound, if you listen to what I was saying to Nana, the sound of Smooth, which by the way is hands down Santana's biggest hit. The sound of Smooth is very Spanishy, similar to an artist named Juanes. He's a regional artist, Juanes, arguably the coolest Latin artist ever. He's got a bit of a rock feel. He's kind of like a bit of a, I don't want to say a cooler Santana, but this guy sings. Santana is really just a genius on guitar. And we're talking music here. It's not just all singing. It's what you bring to the table. And as a guitarist, there's not too many people in the world of all time that can quite level up to Carlos Santana. So, Stephanie, lucky guest, go give yourself some credit. That was an amazing pick. Nobody else said Carlos Santana. I didn't even see yours till later, so excellent pick. I hope you'll be back. You now are in the Champions Club. Champions that we have here right now are Ange. She's won a couple. She picked I believe Eminem in our hip hop week. She picked I can't remember, but she won another one, and Nana won our country week, and Uncle Mike won our disco week, and you are the queen, the champion, or the greatest Latin artist of all time, Carlos Santana. Great job, Stephanie. Okay, so just before I start to wrap things up here, I just want to remind you about next week's episode. Hi, Shannon. Next week's episode, again, we're going all over the place. Now that Black History Month is all over, I'm going to take you on a journey of different music themes and the greats. The greats, that's it. And next week, it's the greatest 50s and 60s song. So the back in the, jive days, where black leather jackets and stuff like that. We're going to pick the top 20 50s and 60s songs, and who's going to have number one? I mean, Elvis Presley comes to mind, but we're not picking the best artist. We're picking the best songs. So that makes it a little... Elvis could be the biggest artist of the 50s. Well, he is the biggest artist of the 50s. I don't think there's much to argue there. But does he have the biggest song? There was a lot of big songs. Yeah, that will be fun, Mary. I'm looking forward to it as well. So that's next week, March 18th, Tuesday, March 18th, live right here on TikTok at 8 p.m. Music Goats with DJ Ray. And be sure and check me out on social media as well. I'm on most of the major platforms, and you can easily find me by typing in DJ Ray's Music. Alternately, you can check out my official website at djraysmusic.com. So thanks, everybody. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you for the likes. I see them still coming in. I kind of want to stay for a little bit longer just to get some more. Thanks for following me, Stephanie. Hope to see you again. And you're right, Darren. You guys are all awesome. Thanks for joining me. I hope to see you next week for 50s and 60s on another episode of Music Goats. Thanks all. Have a great night.